Today, we're going to take a short bit and talk about Apple Watch. And in particular, whether or not I liked upgrading or changing over to the Apple Watch Ultra. So let's get into it. Hey folks, welcome back to techgooch, and today we're talking about the Apple Watch. Now, I have been wearing Apple Watches since Series 2. I didn't really care about Series 1 just because of the fact that it wasn't water resistant to any kind of depth at all. So I passed on it right away because I had an outdoor enthusiast watch, actually a larger watch than my current Apple Watch Ultra, and I loved that watch. It was a Suunto Vector, and I loved the watch, I really did. And then when the Series 2 came out and actually had that water resistance to 50 meters, I was sold. Okay, something I can wear, and I don't care if I get it wet. I don't care if I go to the swimming pool. I don't care if I'm in the shower with it. And so when I got the Series 2, that's exactly what I did. I didn't take it off until it went on the charger at night, and when I got up in the morning, I put it back on. Kind of like a lot of other things I have. I don't want to have to take it off. I don't want to take it off. So all of my Apple Watches, Series 2, after Series 2, I went to Series 5. I kind of skipped because I didn't need, because the Series 2 was working great. Series 5, then I went to Series 7 earlier this year. And then when they actually were doing the launch on the Series 8, I'm like, I have a Series 7. Series 7 is good enough. And then they came out with the Ultra, and it was bringing me back to those outdoor enthusiast watches again. And so, of course, at first I was like, I want that. I don't want to spend $800 on a watch. I don't think that's going to happen. And then I kind of went, oh, well, maybe I could, and I don't really need cellular connection because I've only done Wi-Fi watches. In the end, skipping forward, I decided before it actually launched to pre-order it because I got, a deal essentially through Verizon on it. And since it was launched, I think I got it maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks after it launched. That's because I put in my pre-order late. I have absolutely loved my Apple Watch Ultra. And I wanted to go over a few points today of what I love. And more than anything, it actually has a small sale on it for the holidays as well. So it's another gift that if you're looking for maybe that premium gift, or if you know somebody that is looking, hey, would I recommend a regular Apple Watch or the Apple Watch Ultra? And I've read and heard a few things about the Apple Watch Ultra of other people that have it, things that people complain about that I don't experience. And I think I know why I don't experience at least one of them. And I wanted to at least touch base on that as well. So as part of my holiday gift guide or holiday gift for yourself guide, would I recommend an Apple Watch Ultra? I'm going to go through some things, but as of right now, yes. So let's bring it in. The first thing that whenever you receive a product is the packaging, and the packaging is quite a bit different than any other Apple Watch. Now you can see the lice long and everything gets wrapped out. The Apple Watch Ultra was completely different in their boxing. So everything was just done differently. You got this neat card, there we go, that kind of went through the different bands that are kind of associated with the Ultra exclusively. Now, the nice thing about the Ultra is, for me specifically, that I already had a 44 and then 45 millimeter, so the larger of the Apple Watch sizes. All my bands from the Series 2 on up all carry over. They actually work with my Ultra. So the nice thing is that I have extra bands, but I just wanted to go over, they do some pretty cool, it's kind of like the brochure you buy before you buy the watch, but it comes with the watch. It's kind of cool. I think it's cool. The packaging is cool, and I appreciate the little book. That said, with the watch itself, let's bring it in a little bit closer. I got the Alpine Loop Band. Now, first of all, right away, I saw videos within a week of it launching, people complaining. And this is before I actually received my watch. People are like, it's a fabric band and it gets dirty so easily. I'm from going from the silicone bands or whatever from the other ones to this fabric Alpine Loop Band. Oh man, it gets dirty so easily. And I was like, all right, well, I guess it is fabric. It is going to get dirty. It is what it is. Silicone gets dirty too, and it usually gets cruddy in the little like pinholes for the press the actual band piece. But it doesn't get, dirty all the way around because it's silicone. It just wipes off. Fabric does what fabric does. It picks up dirt and things like that. Now, I have not had that problem, mainly because I shower with my Apple Watch. Like I said, I put my Apple Watch on in the morning, and I do not take it off until I go to bed, so it's on my wrist all day. I do not take it off for showers. I purposefully shower with it on because I always thought it's going to get cleaned that way. I don't care, I bought the Apple Watch to get wet, so I don't care if whatever it does. I've never had an issue since my Series 2 all the way through, including the Ultra. So I shower with mine every single time I shower, essentially. Unless I get up early in the morning and I forget to put it on before I get my shower, and then I put it on after. But that, in that case, I don't really get a dirty band. Have I had dirt on my band? Yes. Yes, I have. But in the shower, when I'm, using soap on my hand, I actually wipe my band a little bit. So in all reality, my band gets washed and I don't have any issues with it at all. I mean, does it get dirty? Like today, I didn't wash it today. Is it a little dirty? Maybe a little bit. But no more dirty than anything I've ever worn that was fabric, I guess. Specifically something that I've worn nonstop for, months now. But in all reality, everybody also, it's so large. I think that, I like that. It's actually smaller than my original Outdoor Enthusiast watch. So, in all reality, I actually would be okay with it if it was even bigger. That's my own personal thing. I understand that. But here's a couple things. This button on the side that you don't get with the other Apple Watches is programmable to whatever you want. I have it set to when I hit that, it goes into my activity mode and I can do a walk or whatever. It automatically goes over to that, and you can program that. I also like the fact that because of the larger display, you can get more pieces on your face. In this case, this is here, let me pull it off so I can actually get it in the right orientation. So this one you can see, okay, so I put it on my wrist backwards just so it's easier for you to see as I talk about it. But the more complications that you can get on here. So this is the exclusive timepiece, I guess, for the Ultra. And there we go. I'm hitting buttons that I don't mean to hit. But you can put a lot more complications on there because you have more screen real estate. There's more to do. Also, when you do texting, and let me get that out. So when you're texting, you actually get a full keyboard. Now, I will say that it is very small, and if you're not paying attention, it's easy to mistype, but you actually are getting a full keyboard. Now, you can still do the talk to text, so you still have the microphone and things like that. You can still do other things, but you do have a full keyboard and full emoji icon as well. So pretty cool in that regard. I do appreciate that. I really do. Also, to talk about this body, well, in this case, we don't get the glass front, we get the actual quartz, but just like on the stainless steel version, but the body is titanium. So it's really, really robust. I can't tell you, I probably, I would say 4 or 5 times now that I've scraped my watch against something that on my Series 7, which again, was aluminum and glass, I had the aluminum version, I would have scratched it, or I would have done something, scraped off, like I had the space gray one or whatever, and scraped off some of it so it wasn't space gray in that section. And that's fine. It's a watch. I am fine with it getting scratches. I've learned that since my Series 2. It's a watch. It's something I wear every day. It's out in the open. It's going to get scratched. I don't like putting protectors on. I will never put a screen protector on my watch ever again. I did it on my first watch for probably a day or 2, and then it was gone, and I'll never do it again. I'm the same way with this one. I don't wear any extra protection on it, and I will not, and I refuse to, because it's a watch. It should be designed to be worn out in the open. The glass display is flat with the metal rim all the way around it. I have 0 scratches on this watch, on the quartz crystal. I have never had a watch that has lasted more than maybe a week that didn't get a scratch on it somewhere. I'm actually super impressed by how long this has remained scratchless. Now I have, I think, a couple small scratches on the titanium right around the display, like right here. You're not going to be able to see it. I can barely see it myself. Is a small one. There's also a couple really small ones right here, right on the corner edge. And I think that's a testament to how they designed it. The display is actually sunken in like maybe a millimeter from the outside of the titanium edge. So the first thing that you're going to hit is this titanium edge that's lifted up all the way around. Apple did a really good job. I originally thought, okay, you're gonna nick that and then you'll scratch it, and I haven't yet. And the nicks that I've gotten, I've even scraped it against concrete that you could hear the, and I was like, oh, what did I do? And then I pull my watch out and thinking I'm gonna have this big scrape or something, and I wasn't able to find anything. And I even heard it scrape. And I think that's how I got a couple of these really, really small scratches. But I'm not even feeling anything. So if it was the aluminum one, you'd scrape it and you could feel it with your finger, right? And again, like I said, it's a watch. I expect it to get damaged. It is what it is. But of course, it's an expensive watch. I don't want it to get damaged. But yeah, I can't feel them. I cannot feel any of the scratches or imperfections that I have created on this watch. So all in all, the longevity that this watch is going to last me is going to be fantastic, I think, in all reality. Last thing I want to touch on, the thing that I really, really, really love is the battery life. The battery life is beyond what I thought it was going to be. Now, it's supposed to be whatever it is, how many hours, 30 hours or whatever it is, or 20 hours. I don't care about that, because every time they tell you it's going to last 16 hours, it never lasts 16 hours for me, because, especially you're tracking activities, you're doing things with GPS, you're doing all these things. This has cellular built into it, all the things you're going to do with cellular. How long is the battery going to last? I am amazed at the battery life. I have never had a watch that lasted this long, of course, specifically rechargeable watch, sorry. But if I charged this up to full, I probably would get 2 full days out of the thing and be fine, in all reality. But now Apple, because of the extra size battery that's in this, they've implemented the capability of turning on the charge to 80%. So similar to an EV, an electric car, you charge this to 80% rather than 100%, and so your battery longevity is going to be substantially better than it ever was charging to 100% every night. So you're not going to see the degradation of the lithium ion that's in the watch as much. So the nice thing about this is now I charge to 80% every day, and I don't come home. I don't put it on the charger at night. I think less than 45% still remaining. So from 80 to 44 is probably the lowest I've ever gone. It's crazy how long the battery lasts. It really does. And I use my watch. I really do. So in all reality, that is my biggest feature, I think, outside the size and the look and feel. Oh, sorry about that. One thing I want to touch on that I don't think they did as good is because of the extra size, they made the digital crown larger, but it actually is so close to the skin that if you actually rotate it, sometimes it actually, right against my bone here, it gets a little tight. I actually have to move my watch sometimes to rotate the digital crown. So that is one thing that I've noticed, is that because they made this larger and because it actually comes so close to the skin on the backside, that sometimes it is hard to wheel that around. I don't know how you would fix that without going to a smaller digital crown. It's the only thing that I could think of that would actually fix that. But it is one thing that I did notice that I don't like as much. Or I shouldn't say I don't like as much, is that's one potential issue with how it at least rests on my wrist. And my wrists are small. In all reality, they are small. But it rests right against my bone right here on this side. And so it just pushes just enough on that sometimes I have to push the watch out of the way to use the digital crown. So that's something that I did want to mention. So we wrap back around to what I said originally. I love this watch. Now, I've had Series 2, Series 5, Series 7, and Ultra. That's the 4 Apple Watches that I have personally had on my wrist. I liked all 3 of the other Apple Watches. I really did. Really liked them, had nothing against them other than small things here or there. And of course, every time, every iteration, they make it better because it's smarter, it's better, battery lasts longer. But this darn thing, the battery is awesome. I love the new integration of the extra button. I love the size. The band, I'm sorry, the Alpine Loop band, I absolutely love it. Now, I'm a guy, I've had about every band in existence, and I always went back to the silicone because it just was one that I liked. The downside to silicone is the fact that it doesn't breathe, right? So you sweat underneath that band all the time. This is cloth. It doesn't stretch. So you set it how you want it with the Daisy Loop band. The Alpine Loop band, I love. I'm sorry, people out there that, you know, specifically, like I said, before I actually received the watch and I saw the initial reactions of, oh, this band gets so dirty. Clean it. How hard is that? It's so easy. I even let it get dirty. I was actually on a job site for work, and it got dirty, like dusty, kind of grime rubbed into it. And I came home and I was like, all right, there it is. And when I took a shower, I just used my soap, and like I said, I just went over it like it was on my wrist, so it was part of my body, and I just did that. And I washed and I rinsed it off, and I was like, oh, well, it just comes right out. Okay, well then it's not really something to complain about. It's like if I rubbed up against something with my shirt and said, oh, this shirt sucks, it gets dirty. No, it's clothing, it's cloth. You know, this is a fabric, it will get dirty, but as long as it can come clean, it's all that really matters, right? Now, I'm not going to recommend getting like oils on this, right? Like engine oil or something like that. That's going to be like engine oil. It's probably not going to be very easy to come out. But I did want to mention that because that was one of those earlier on things that I was just like, why are we complaining about this? It's cloth. Yeah, it can get dirty, but as long as it can come clean. I know there are people out there that don't wear their watch in the shower. My wife is one of them. She does not. She takes it off every time she gets in the shower. And hey, it is what it is. You can clean it in the sink. If this gets wet, that was the other complaint that I thought, okay, it is cloth. It's going to hold water more than silicone because silicone doesn't hold water, right? Other than the water that gets in between the band and your arm, and it doesn't really air out because it's silicone, right? It doesn't air out. This does get wet, and when I come out of the shower, it is wet, but I think it actually dries pretty fast. That was the other complaint that I read about, was how it holds moisture and it stays wet. And it's like, no, it really doesn't. I mean, I've gone swimming with this. I've gone, and that's the other thing, is the dive sensor that's built into this watch to tell you how deep you go. Really cool, really neat to see, especially because, and I actually took a screenshot of it where it actually shows you how deep you are or how deep you went during however long you were underwater. It was just a quick thing that I was doing, but really cool. I'm sorry, there's a lot of really cool things about this watch, and I'd love to talk about more if I really had, you know, wanted to spend hours on it. In all reality, it's got much better battery. It's got a bigger, larger, brighter display, and it is brighter display. It's got the, I mean, it only comes with the cellular option built in, so hey, it is what it is, but it's got a good cellular option on it. It also has an SOS function where you can actually like trigger and actually blast out. I'm probably not going to use that, but it is there if I do need it, and maybe it's something that I probably should learn myself to make sure I understand how to use before I get into that situation, but it has that capability built into it. I love the watch. It's the first Apple Watch that I've had since the very first Apple Watch, because obviously when you get something new for the first time, you're just like, wow, right? This is awesome. But like when you got your iPhone, you went, every single iPhone you get, okay, it's a little faster, a little better. But I went from my Series 7 to this Ultra, and it wasn't just, okay, it's a little bit better. No. It's dramatically different. And that's, I think, why people are loving it as much as they are. And right now, for this holiday, at least Amazon and several other retailers have it on sale. So rather than $7.99, it's $7.39, I think, is what it's currently going for. Now, I don't know what it's going to go for when this video comes to your eyes, but that's something to looking forward to, or look for those deals, see what you can find. When I got it, I pre-ordered it. I did get $150 technically credit over whatever it is, 2 or 3 years on Verizon, which basically paid for my Verizon access on my account for 2.5 years. That's how I look at it, and I'm okay with that. 2.5 years of my service is basically paid for, or a little over 2 years or whatever it is. But that said, I love this watch. And would I do it again? Even looking back, knowing how much it is, absolutely I would do it again in a heartbeat. My wife will not do it. And in all reality, this watch isn't really oriented toward her. But I used to have outdoor watches. I used to backpack a lot. I used to rock climb. I used to do a lot of things. And I missed that larger watch, that larger feel with more gadgetry to it. And being a tech enthusiast, this is one of the most techie watches you can get. So Apple Watch Ultra, I love it. It's not for everybody. But if you're interested in what it can do and what it offers, highly recommend checking it out. Definitely head over to an Apple Watch store, or an Apple store, sorry. They'll let you check it out. They'll let you try it on. They'll let you try out the bands to see what you think of it. And I love this little loop, like this Alpine Loop little daisy chain grabber band. I love it. I really do. It went from, I don't know if I'm gonna really like this, to my favorite band I've ever worn. And I've worn a lot of bands. So since I got the watch, that's the band that's been on it. And I think I put on one of my other bands for like 5 minutes, and then I went back to this, and I haven't looked back. But that's me. So everybody's different, and they offer tons of different bands. And of course, every band that works on the larger of the 2 Apple Watches that are the standard series will work with this watch as well. So thanks for sticking to the end. I will post a link in the description where you can take a peek at the sale price, or at least right now, check out the prices there. But other than that, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and we'll catch you back here on a future video right here on techgooch. We'll see you soon.